Hello YouTube, this is author Delisha and welcome to my channel. For those of you who's your first time checking me out, make sure you hit that subscribe button on your right hand side and also make sure you click that notification bell so you will be notified every time I have a new upload, so you can check me out and you'll be the first one to know every time I upload any new content. Today I'm going to do something new on my channel. And I've actually had some previous videos in the past that I have done where I kind of talk a little bit about me being an author, a bookworm, loving to read and write and that of that nature. So this time I'm going to actually tell you what I am currently reading. Yes, what I'm currently reading right now. Sometimes I read like 2 books at a time. This time I just kind of was like, well, I'm just going to pick one because when I'm into this author, or should I say these duet authors, I can do nothing but just focus on their book. It's not to the point where it's going to make me want to read something else while I'm reading this book, because it's a nonstop page turning book from front to back. You'll never get bored of reading books by this married couple. Those of you may know who I'm talking about, but for those of you who do not know what I'm talking about, the book that I'm currently reading right now is The Cartel 6. Some of you may have already read this book because it's been out for quite some time now, but I am just now able to read this book. I had a whole freaking library of books over here, and it's been sitting there for a while, and I just decided to read this book. Why? Why did I finally decide to read this book? I don't know. I should have been read this book. And now I'm kind of just going through it and not wanting to stop reading it because it's so good. So much drama, twist and turns, suspense, mystery. You know, if you like that street lit type books with drama, urban, then you would definitely love this book. And I just found out that they actually released a Cartel 7. So I gotta cop that book, right? I need the whole freaking series. I don't know when they're gonna stop with this series. It might go on because it seems like just when you think they're running out of ideas, they're not running out of ideas. And it's just mind-blowing for real. And it just makes you want to know what's going to happen next. But anyway, this book is written by Antoinette and Jaquaviscoleman. They are a married couple that do duet books together, and they also write separately. But what turned me on to Ashley Antoinette is the very first book that I read of hers, called The Prada Plan. And if I'm not mistaken, I know that was a series, and I believe it might have had 3 parts to it. I thought that was the end, and boom, she came out with a part 4, and now I got to go buy it. I got to buy it. She's one author that inspired me to want to write more and get more into my craft of writing. And then I discovered Wattpad. For those of you who don't know about Wattpad, check it out. It's an app you can get on your Apple, your tablet, any smart device for anyone who loves to write, whether it's books, whether it's poetry, or someone who just loves to read great books by people that's trying to get out there, authors who's trying to get their work out there, people who's going to self-publish or who wants to be discovered and signed with a publishing company. But it's bomb. Now, back to this book right here. The Cartel 6, The Dismissed by Ashley and Jaquavis. Looks like this, and I'm going to read the back of this blurb of this book. The Cartel series is back and more deadly than ever. Los Angeles, a city built on obstinance, wealth, and corrupt deals, cunning entrepreneurs, and the ruthless mob. The Cartel's plan to open a casino will rake in cash, but comes with great sacrifice. The stakes have never been this high, and the rules of the game have never been this hard to manipulate. And when one dead girl, one scorned wife, one hole in the desert launch a chain of claustrophobic events, the Cartel is sent on a downward spiral as they battle the Arabian mob and fight traitors within their circle, will the cartel prevail or fall victim to the city's black cloud. And if there's one rule in the town of Vegas, it's that when the dust settles, there can be only one winner. Oh my freaking God. This book, oh, it's so good. And I'm just kind of like maybe in the middle of the book right here. And I don't want to go too much into detail about this book because I feel like if I go into saying what's going on, I'm not going to want to stop telling you about it. But what I can tell y'all to do is to check this book out. You will be pleased, very pleased. And you will most likely get addicted to this duet couple, their writing style, to their books. And you will want to read more and more and more. I have a lot of books by these. These are like two of my favorite authors. Probably out of my top maybe 10, 20 authors, these are like at the very top. And I pretty much started out by reading from the very first book right here, which was The Cartel. I kind of like to read things in order because I feel like if I read out of order, I will be lost. I don't like being lost. I want to know what's going on. I don't want to read something like part 3 before, like part 3 and then go back and read 1. And then I'm just like, okay, when chain of events happen, I got to know how it happened all from the beginning. So I actually just started with this one and I read that all the way through. It's just as good as the one that I'm reading now. So if you did decide to buy it, you may want to start from the beginning, which is The Cartel. That's the very first one. And I also got the second one, which looks like this. Tale of the Murder Mamas. And if you may not know about the Murder Mamas, they were in a lot of these Cartel books, but they also have the Murder Mama. I believe there's a series on the Murder Mamas. I only bought one of them that I'm looking at now over here on my bookshelf that I have read, but I'm not sure. But I know the very first one that came out, I read it. They may have a series on it, they may not, but y'all might need to check it out so you can kind of know the background of the Murder Mamas. It's always good to know. And this is The Cartel 3, the last chapter. And I actually thought they was going to stop in book 3, but the way it ended out, I'm just like, no, it's got to be more. Gotta be more. And then this is The Cartel Part 4, Diamonds Are Forever. I got a good deal on this book. I think I paid $7.99 for it. And The Cartel 5, La Bella Mafia, looks like that. So yeah, that is basically all of the Cartel series. The only one that I'm missing is the Cartel 7, which is what I am actually going to buy. Not sure if I'm going to go right into reading 7 or if I'm going to pick a book by another author to read because I have so many, favorites. And sometimes I don't want to get just stuck on reading books by just Ashley and Jaquavis. But one thing I can tell you that if I become bored with reading a book by any of the other authors that I love to read books by, and my mind just can't wrap around the author's writing style, or I'm just like, okay, I can't get into it. Nothing is happening. This book is boring. I always know who I can go back to. I could bookmark that book and just be like, okay, I know 2 authors that I can go to that the book is not going to be boring and it's going to interest me in wanting to keep reading and keep flipping those pages and not wanting to stop and wake up thinking about the book and go to sleep thinking about the book. And it's definitely Ashley and Jaquavis' work. So those of you who have read this, comment down below. Tell me what you think about this book. What are you reading? Matter of fact, what would you refer or recommend for me to read? Who are your favorite authors? What is your favorite all-time book? Tell me what y'all think. Thank you for watching. Like, love, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see y'all in my next vid. Goodbye.